You like
I don't
it?
care.
You like being evicted?
Like what?
Who's this? The sheriff's officer?
Because you meet
Is that the sheriff's officer locking you out?
Yeah,
You like
yeah.
it?
No,
You like it?
Actually,
This is what happens when you don't pay your rent. Yeah? Sheriff's officer comes, locks you right out, changes your locks. Now they got to get out, walk out. I won't show his face. And that's how it goes. Right, my brother?
All right, so I have a different kind of video for you today, and it's really a video review of this reality TV star who recorded the eviction that, you know, he performed on a tenant who hadn't paid him rent in more than 4 years. Now, the part that I already played, that was the eviction itself as he went through the process with this tenant, right? But he actually had a, you know, just a little commentary about the whole situation that he, you know, went over and discussed what was going on, why this eviction was happening, and, you know, explaining to people that, hey, I'm not the bad guy. This tenant was abusing the COVID-19 eviction protections up in New Jersey. He was really taking advantage of him, and, you know, now he's out tens of thousands of dollars, and the most he can get is his unit back. So this is the exact same thing that's happened to landlords throughout the entire country. And I've never actually heard of this guy. I never watched this show that he's on. I believe they said it's the Real Housewives of New Jersey. I'm not into that kind of show, but, you know, it's interesting to see that, hey, this guy, you know, he went ahead, he recorded the situation, and he's getting it out there so that everyone can see this is what landlords have been going through since the beginning of the pandemic. And it's absolutely awful, the kind of situation he was put in by a very tenant-friendly state like New Jersey. So before I get into the article, go ahead, hit the like, subscribe button, maybe leave a comment down below, and let me know. I'm just out of curiosity. Has anyone actually ever heard of this guy? Let me see, Joe Gorga, you know, or seen him on this show, The Real Housewives of New Jersey? Just out of curiosity. And if you are from New Jersey, did you experience this sort of, you know, problem getting through the court system and maybe getting a tenant out of your unit? So we'll start off by playing a clip from this video.
Apartment, you need to pass a credit check. You have to have first month's rent. You have a month and a half security. You got to come up with $10,000, $12,000, right? He had no money. I allowed him in. I gave him a chance. And no credit. He said, give me an opportunity. I gave him an opportunity. Paid me for 3 months, and then he stopped paying me. Avoided me. And I don't get involved with all my tenants because there's so many. But he was different because I know him. And didn't hear from him. So before COVID, he owed me about 1.5 years of rent. We filed before COVID. Then COVID hit, so we lost the court case because of COVID. New laws came in.
Yeah.
So look, COVID lasted 2 years.
Yeah.
So he got out. So when COVID ended, it was about 4 years of rent. Now, if it was 3 months, 2 months, 4 months, 5 months, and I was acting like that, I'm a sick man.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Yeah.
I have a lot of tenants. And people owe me 2 months, 3 months, 4. I don't even know who they are. But in this particular case, I knew the man and I helped him, and he avoided me, and he knew he was screwing me. And if he would make an opportunity, like, hey, here's $100 a month, a week, 200, 400, something. No, but
no effort.
No effort. He wanted to not pay. So what happened was, we have a judgment against him, and he is evicted. And we're waiting because of COVID. There's so many evictions that the sheriff's officer comes. What happens now? A sheriff's officer comes and locks them out. They change the locks, but they're 8 weeks. They're 8 weeks behind. So I'm still waiting, rent free, and not even attempting to pay. You know, I have bills to pay. I carry a mortgage on that building. You know, and I have children. I have a life. I work hard. I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I struggle every day. I grind every day. Every day you see me in work boots.
Okay, so you saw that, you saw what he had to say, and you know, it's hard to disagree with anything that he said. It's hard to look at him as being the bad guy when he went through so much ridiculous trauma with this stupid tenant, okay? But I have an article here, and it's going over the exact same topic. It's coming from page6.com, and it says, Real Housewives of New Jersey star Joe Gorga records police evicting tenant over alleged unpaid rent. All right, let's get into it. Joe Gorga has finally evicted his tenant who allegedly didn't pay for 4 years. The Real Housewives of New Jersey star claimed the Hawthorne, New Jersey man owed him nearly $50,000 in unpaid rent when he showed him the door this week. Gorga pressed the record as he and a sheriff's deputy showed up at the property on Tuesday evening, armed with eviction papers. "You got to pay your rent or you get locked the F out," Gorga told his now former tenant in a video obtained by TMZ. Gorga, 42, also filmed the man and an unidentified female who was heard sobbing as they packed their belongings into a moving truck. "I said, you got to be out tonight," the reality star said. Page 6 has reached out to Gorga's rep for comment. And I can't really blame him for having a bit of attitude with this tenant because this tenant was in there for 4 years not paying, okay? We're not talking about a few months here or there. We're talking about 4 years. Owed this guy $50,000, okay? That is so ridiculous, it's not even funny. I mean, come on. You know, I mean, if I was in his situation, I probably would have blown a gasket and, you know, this would have been, I would have been pretty unhappy. I'll just say it like that, you know? So I'm going to skip down a little bit in this article and, you know, they kind of go over a little bit of this Hollywood stuff. I'm not too interested in all of the, different little interactions between him and the tenant, right? But I am interested in his reasoning and his explanation for what happened, okay? So, let's see here. It says, "I don't get involved with all of my tenants because there are so many, but he was different because I know him. Didn't hear from him." Gorga also claimed he previously filed to have the tenant booted from the apartment, but was denied due to the eviction protections that were put into place during the COVID-19 pandemic. "He knew he was screwing me," Gorga claimed. "If he made an opportunity like, here's $100 a month, a week, 200, 400 something, but no effort, he wanted to not pay. If you saw the video, he was provoking me." The tenant, who told TMZ he was struggling to get back on his feet after he lost his job as a restaurant manager during the pandemic. Gorga, however, claimed the tenant had the ability to work, but chose not to. "He was a manager of a restaurant. He can get a job like this. There's jobs. He just doesn't want to work and is taking advantage of the system," Gorga added. And that is the case for so many tenants, right? As soon as they told these tenants that they don't have to pay rent, that they don't have to work anymore because the government's going to be sending you this stimulus check, then all of a sudden, guess what they were doing? They were like, you know what, I'm just going to lay here, do nothing, not pay rent. The government's going to take care of me. I'll be just fine. And I won't get evicted because this guy can't evict me because of these eviction protections. And New Jersey was one of the worst states when it came to finally ending their eviction moratorium and then getting the process rolling again. So this guy, Gorga, he had to sit around and wait for years before he finally was able to get this bad tenant out of his unit. And I think it says here, I can't remember if it was this article or another one, right? But they said that he tried to evict the guy and finally got an eviction order after the eviction moratorium in New Jersey ended, right? And he still had to wait another 2 months because the sheriff's office was so backed up that it took him 2 months to be able to come out there and actually, go with him to change the locks and make sure that guy got out of his unit. I mean, this is ridiculous bureaucracy. This is all the issues with the eviction moratorium that I've been talking about in all of my videos. And, it's nice to see that he recorded this whole thing so that people could see, hey, this is a real landlord here. This is, he's not just a reality TV star, but, I feel his pain, okay, when dealing with these bad tenants.